The good things now. We don't want homes coming down. Did you have your hand up? No? Yes, sir.
The leaves, when they come down and they turn into soil, it helps the plants around them.
That's right. So we talked a lot about the trees and the leaves turning into nutrients for the soil. So we don't want our trees to die, but sometimes some have to, because we have so many trees, but no new trees or new plants could grow without the input of those needed rich nutrients for the soil. So these two trees right here, for example, they're down, but there's probably a big benefit to them being down because all the plants around them are about to get that great input of nitrogen and carbon for them to grow stronger.
I have another one.
Let's hear it.
When trees come down, it gives bugs a place to live and other creatures.
Absolutely. So a lot of animals like to live up in the trees, but do we have animals that like to live down here on the ground too?
Yes.
That's right. So what could use these fallen trees here? So what could use that for home?
Sometimes spiders.
Spiders.
Yeah.
Spiders would absolutely use it. They could use that as web because everything's scurrying underneath it.
You could lose trees for air.
That's right. We can lose trees for air as they're very conscious of our trees. You can lose electricity. That's right. So a telephone pole can weather just like a tree can. So we could have those go down, especially during storms. And there's a lot of danger that comes with that too. Did you want to say something there?
No.
No? What else? What's another bad thing from, what about erosion this time? What's the bad things from erosion?
People could lose their homes.
That's right, they
good
can lose
job,
their
Jack.
homes. As we talked about the shoreline. So as that weathers away and erodes, we lose the shorelines. People can lose their homes or businesses.
Landslides.
Yeah.
Landslides. Does anyone know what
That's
a
what you're gonna
landslide
say,
is?
Marisol?
With a
Yeah.
landslide? With a lot.
Exactly. So it could be from a strong gust of wind. It could be from a large sound, something that would vibrate the land and cause everything just to run and shift downhill. That's exactly right. So that's when things move from one location to another. So if everyone will look right here where we have this stream bed, you see where there's this kind of burlap rope, this mat here on the side? That's because we're trying to protect this stream from eroding. So as we just learned, eroding is when things move from one spot, the sediment moves down to another. So it's this bank bed here, as it keeps disintegrating down into the water, what would happen if we weren't protecting it right here?
It wouldn't be a creek anymore.
Exactly. It wouldn't be a creek anymore because the
Good job,
land
Ian.
would get completely flat, right? If we didn't have this protecting it, it would just slowly we would lose all of this land right here and it would go flat. So as the water came down here, it would just disperse over all the land and it would just absorb into the soil. So we wouldn't have an actual creek anymore. We would lose this little channel of water that we have here through the nature center. So erosion is that's what weathering means. You're good. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly right. Did y'all hear what our friend said here? So weathering is when things, he said like the minerals, they're breaking down into smaller things. So that big boulder we saw when y'all first walked in, as well as these larger rocks here, that the process of weathering is as they break down into smaller and smaller pieces. So do y'all see all these smaller rocks down here, kind of where the water lays still and flat?
Yeah.
So a lot of these were once part of these larger rocks up here, but the water is the weathering agent in this situation. And it's acting like a knife and it's cutting these rocks and pieces of it are flaking off and coming down and they grow smaller and smaller.